Let me post. There we go. Recording it. I'll put the. Okay, let's make my announcement first. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Mike Roberts. I'll be doing the lesson for this afternoon. The lesson on Tuesday, we covered hands that deal with invitational bids. What we're going to go over today are four examples of hands with forcing bids. Slightly stronger hands, we're going to get to game. How can you express that to your partner? Um, Before I start, I'm going to put a copy of the lesson hands into chat so you can review them later if you'd like. I will also do that again at the end of the session in case we get a little waylaid. If anybody has any questions, I think the easiest way to handle it is if you post something into chat, I can see that somebody's looked. After we go through the four lesson hands and my commentary, I'm happy to go over any other hands you'd like to go over. I haven't looked at all the other hands, they're randomly dealt, but I'm happy to discuss anything you'd like to discuss. Having said that, let's go through the four hands that I do know what I'm expecting to see, and we'll see if we can shed some light on forcing bids. The first one was hand number three. This is a north-south hand. Um, Normally, when we set up hands, we're exceptionally mean and nasty. This one we're fairly nice on. We sort of wanted to just illustrate what forcing bids look like. Um, South has 18 high card points. They don't have very many losers, two hearts, one spade, and one club. But you try not to open two clubs just because you don't have very many losers. It doesn't work out very well opening two clubs with two suited hands because your auction's starting at the two level. It's going to be tough for you to open two clubs and then show both of your suits and still stay at a comfortable level. So it's suggested with two suited hands, should have, even if you don't have very many losers, tend to open your suits and make your jump shift the next time. I'm just going to get into that. So I suggest one spade by South. West has some points, but two flat and not quite enough points to do anything. They should pass. North bids one no trump. That's for standard American. This says I have 6 to 10 points and I don't have spade support. That's about all it says. Because everything, if you're not strong enough to bid at the two level and you can't raise and you can't pass, one no trump is the only bid that's left. It's sort of a catch-all bid. Anyway, they bid one no trump. East passes. Now South wants to express that they have extra values here. Two clubs is not a forcing bid. You'd make that with the same hand with just ace king and another ace and the same shape. You have to express to your partner that you've got enough that you're willing to get to game opposite a 6 to 10 point hand. You've got to gamble a little bit. It might not work out if partners got all their high cards and all their cards in the red suits. But three clubs is about this is about what a normal jump shift looks like. Five spades, you might have more. If it's only four clubs, it's a very good hand. They're very good clubs. You don't want to do this on like Jack fourth of clubs even with you have 18 or 19 points, because if your partner raises, you're past three no trump. So you want to have a good suit for your second suit. If it's a minor, if it's a major, you have to do what you have to do because you want to play your 8 card major suit fits. But you can always bid two no trump with sort of semi-balanced hands. Um, and here, three clubs shows five spades, four clubs. We're going to game. This is the important part. A jump shift in a new suit by opener means we're going to game. We don't really care how weak the one no trump bid is. We don't care what level of fit you have. You're not allowed to downgrade to overrule partner and pass three clubs. You have to bid and you have to get to game when you open one of a suit and you rebid jump rebid in a new suit. So what are North's responsibilities? Well, if they have some, their first responsibility is let's look towards no Trump. Um, you've specifically denied spade support when you bid one no. So three spades would be okay here. Oh, sorry. Three spades would not be good there, but it's good here. Three spades would be okay here. It says I've got a doubleton spade. I'm not sure where we should go. Um, but you've got stoppers in hearts and diamonds. So three no trump is probably the right spot. Partner might have to guess what to do if they have six spades, but that's partner's problem. At least this way you're just saying, "Hey, look, I got diamonds covered, I got hearts covered." And that's sort of where your instinct should be when we're dealing with minor suits. Three no trump, and that ends the auction. South has a fifth club, but they don't want to get past three no to bid four clubs. And partner could have almost anything for three no. All you know is that they've got both of the red suits stopped. So three no trump, pass, pass, pass. Um, what should East lead? This auction somewhat suggests a major suit lead because they haven't looked to see if there might be a heart fit. We'll get into an auction in a further hand. But the diamonds are longer and better. I think it's pretty. I think most people would lead a low diamond here. You need Queen Jack 9 or Queen Jack 10 to consider it a sequence. So this is not quite a sequence. It's close, but you want to lead low here because if partner has something like King X of diamonds, you don't want to risk blocking the diamond suit. So a fourth best diamond lead is best. Or sorry, not best. Heart lead works out better for the defense, but I think a diamond lead is pretty normal. So in 3 no trump, declare has to count tricks. They've got ace, king, queen of spades. That's three. Ace of hearts is four. Ace, king of diamonds is six, and ace, king of clubs is nine, or is eight. So you need another trick, but there's good potential in both of the black suits. They're going to knock out. You can probably only give up one trick. So you have to decide whether you're going to give up a club or a spade to set up the long tricks in the suit. Spades works out. You can take five tricks if they're 3-3. You can take four tricks if they're 4-2. And four tricks is enough for game. So let's play a spade to the queen and a spade back. Now, if they both follow, so you know that they're splitting at worst 4-2. But if they had happened to split 5-1, you still would be okay ducking a club and hoping that clubs were 3-2. The odds that spades are 4-2 or 3-3 are better than the odds that a clubs are 3-2. So you want to go after spades, not clubs. Let's continue with the king of spades. We've got a lot of small red cards we can pitch. If there were 4-2, we could give up a spade and we'd still would be able to take a fifth spade. This hand we were nicer than we usually are when we set these up, and spades were 3-3. So we can cash a couple of spades and they probably pitched the king of hearts. That's fine. And they shouldn't have pitched a club in West, but you can take the ace king of clubs, the ace of hearts, and the king of diamonds, and you can make 10 tricks. It's a little better to play spades than play clubs. If you played the ace king of clubs, sorry, I'll undo this. Okay, there we are. The problem with playing clubs first is if you duck a club, you can't duck a spade as well. They'll be knocking out your red suit stoppers. And if you play the ace king of clubs to see how they split, now you don't have any entry aside from spades in for spades. If clubs split 4-1 and spades spades split 4-2, you wouldn't have any entry to cast the fifth spade. So it's better to play spades first. You can give up a spade while you still have the ace king of clubs as an entry. Um, if you play clubs first, you're in trouble if clubs are 4-1 and spades are 4-2. You'd go down when you didn't have to. It's a difficult problem to look at. But your general theory is declare is you want to try and if you've got a choice of two suits to play, see if you can do it in a way that doesn't sacrifice your entries and gives you the shot in both suits. Playing spades is better than playing clubs for this. Hopefully, we all got to three no. The big bidding lesson on this one is we want to illustrate what a jump shift by opener looks like. It's not that it shows a lot of points. It's close. I want to say 18 to 20 points. Um, and you're almost always 5-5. You might have to do it on 5-4. That's what we were trying to illustrate on this one. I hope it got through okay. But we were nicer than usual. Hopefully everybody went plus north south. If you ended up in four spades, that'd be okay. Should lose two clubs, and you want to make sure that. Sorry, I'll just go through the play. Let's say that they were in four. That South was in four spades. Yeah, get back to an auction. Three spades, pass. Four spades, pass, pass. This is also another reasonable auction. Um, they'll leave the king of hearts. And you've got the ace king of diamonds, but you want to make sure you get your pitch before you do that. So, uh, diamond to the ace, spade to the queen. Play the king of diamonds and pitch your heart. Now you can play the ace king of, sorry. Now I think you see you can play the ace king of spades. That draws trumps, and let me do that. And you're one trick ahead in the race because spades split. You'll end up giving up two clubs. They'll force you to ruff. They'll play high red cards, but you'll be able to take your fifth club in the end. You can sort of see how the race plays out. So spades on this hand makes five, a little bit better than no trump. But three no trump, you can use three of opener's first bid suit as sort of a catch-all. I'm not sure what to do. Here, if you were sure enough, you could bid three no. Anyway, all right. Next board. Four was not one of them. It was five. Okay. This is going to be a tricky one because we've said repeatedly and loudly that we don't like five of a minor. This is one of the rare hands where five of the minor is right. Um, I'll go through the auction. This one's a little tricky. North opens one club. They have 18 high card. East passes. South responds a spade. They're okay there. West isn't quite good enough to overcall two hearts, and it's a bad suit anyway, so they say pass. Now, North has sort of a problem here. They have 18 points. A jump rebid in three clubs would describe about that number of points, but it's a six-card suit, six cards or more in clubs. So three clubs is a misdescription. You can't bid two no trump because you've got a singleton heart. Sometimes it's okay to raise one of a major to, partners one of a major response to two with three, but a jump raise always promises four. So three spades promises four here. You only have three, so you can't do that. Um, the solution is you want to bid two diamonds. That's what's known as a reverse. And that's when you open one of a suit and then partner responds in one of a suit or one no trump. And you bid two of a suit that's higher than the original suit. It shows significant extra values. People play it a little different. Some people play it a little differently, but for most people, it's about 16 plus points, maybe 17 plus points It's absolutely forcing because you could have a really big hand, but it doesn't force the game. There's got auctions you can get out below game. But it is forcing for one round. It promises a rebid, and it's it describes your suit length accurately. Partner can start, you can now start describing fits. There's some complicated system stuff that you can play over reverses, but you don't really need to. It's fairly complicated. Just try and bid naturally over it. Two diamonds pass. Well, you know partner's going to rebid, have another bid, whatever we do. So let's show partner that we've got good support for clubs first. I think I prefer that to a two no trump or three no trump bid over two diamonds. Let's hear what partner has to say over three clubs. Maybe that'll help. Partner bids three spades. Now partner has done what we call patterning out. They've told you pretty much what their whole hand is. They've opened a club and they've rebid two diamonds. That means the clubs are longer than the diamonds. And they've shown exactly three spades. If they had four, they would have raised to the appropriate level before. If they didn't even have three, they wouldn't bid three spades. So you should know that partner is has this exact shape or is very close to it. And now this is a tricky one. Um, you've got a heart stopper, so I don't quarrel too much with three no. But you also know that partner has a singleton heart. It's not going to be that easy to be playing 3-0. They're going to lead a heart on this auction. You've got your one stopper, but unless you've got nine tricks running right away, it's going to be tough. But you've got spades, hearts, and diamonds. Uh, you've got all the other suits, probably lots of high cards in them. I like saying, let's go back to clubs. I don't really think 3-0 is right. Um, we're still in a forcing auction now. Pass. Uh, And now North can just bid five clubs. The auction that I put in the write-up got a little fancy. We've now agreed that clubs is our trump suit. So when we Q bid, that shows the ace of the suit. Just in case we needed to get to slam. Four diamonds, pass. Well, I got the ace of hearts, pass. Well, I don't have the ace of spades, so I should just bid five clubs. And I think that just ends the auction. You sort of run it, everybody sort of runs out of power to show. They have all these aces, but there's losers that are going to be unavoidable. Five clubs plays very well. The opening lead is the 10 of hearts. We win the ace, and we can draw trumps. And now we'll give up the we'll knock out the ace of spades. That's one trick for them. And we'll lose a diamond in the end. Even if we can pitch one card on the spades, we're still going to lose another diamond. So it makes exactly five clubs. This is a rare one where, yeah, 3 no trump might be right when South has to decide what to do over three spades. But if you look at the whole hand, get back there. Oh, sorry. Such a long box. Okay. Three spade. So if South bids 3 no trump, which is more than reasonable, pass, pass, pass. Now they lead a heart. They cover. We can duck once, but they're going to continue hearts. You can cash five. We've taken this one trick. We can cash five clubs and two diamonds, but then I think you can sort of see West is going to get in with their, as soon as we lead a spade to set up tricks there, West is going to win the ace and cash their hearts. 3 no isn't going to make. Um, it's tough it's a bidding skill to visualize partner's hand and see how well certain contracts are going to play. With this South hand, you sort of have to visualize what partners said they've had, with the reverse and then bidding your original suit, and sort of judge that even though we've got that fourth suit stopped, 3-no isn't where we want to play. Four spades is an interesting choice. I know, I think that we want to, at a low level, not encourage anyone to even look for 4-3 major suit fits. There are hands where it's right. Four spades on these two hands would be a interesting contract. I think it'll make a few. If you played four spades, fine, but I don't want to have auctions where I recommend playing a 4-3 fit. I think it's above what we should be teaching at this level. If you got to four spades, that's fine. If you got to five clubs, that's fine. The main point of this is what is a reverse? What does it show? What does it promise? And how do we respond to these reverses? Hopefully, we show that the reverse shows extra values. It is forcing one round, but it's for most people, it's not forcing to game. There is some auctions you can get out. For example, if South had a weaker hand, they could pass three spades on our sample auction. Um, Common mistakes with reverses are they like to people like to make the reverses to show the shape but without the points. So let me just show the full hand. So they like to bid two diamonds with this shape, but they don't have the ace of clubs. They've only got 14 points. That's bad because partner has to go to the three level if they prefer clubs, and you're promising another bid. So you don't reverse without extra values, significant extra values. I say 17 plus. And the other mistake that I've seen a lot of people make is they like to show these points and they do it by distorting the distribution. So let's pretend North had five diamonds and five clubs instead of four diamonds and five clubs. I've seen a lot of players open one club so that they can rebid two diamonds and show strength. Well, that's great, but it doesn't describe the length of the suits accurately. You want the first bid suit to be longer than the second bid suit. That's going to be important for partner when they need to know what to bid. If you're equal length, you open the higher suit and then you jump in the second suit. So you open one diamond and you rebid three clubs. Don't you want to reverse with specific kinds of shape? The first suit will always be longer than the second. Reverses are tricky. They're not much fun. It's not very often is there a fit in the suit you reverse in, diamonds in this case. And it's a little tricky. But you need to have them because there isn't any other really good way of describing this north hand unless two diamonds shows this kind of shape and extra values. That's what reverses are. They're forcing. They aren't forcing the game for most people. All right. Thank you, folks. Let's go redeal. This one, I don't think it was this one. Oh yeah, this was one. Okay, this is another jump shift one. This is one that the auction can go a few different ways. But let's see what we start off with. One spade, South passes. For the same reason, West should be discouraged by the fact they have a void in spades. But they still have seven high card points. Partner could have 20, 21 points and still open his spade. We have to respond. So we bid one no trump. Again, pretty much all that says is I don't have 11 points and I don't have a spade fit. But I have enough to respond. North passes. We have 18 high card. They're nice high card. There's nothing wasted. Um, so your choices are two clubs, which isn't forcing, or three clubs, which is going to force the game. I think most people would bid three clubs. Even though you only have four clubs, you need to express to your partner that you have spades and clubs and you've got significant extra values. Three clubs, pass. Three clubs perks up West. Now they've got five card support for their second bid suit. However, we still our instinct, oh great, we've got a minor suit fit. Instinct should be how's 3 no? Well, we can't bid 3 no ourselves because we don't have a diamond stopper. So we bid 3 hearts. It's sort of it's a natural bid. But the main reason you're doing this isn't to get to 4 hearts. You'd be very lucky if your partner had three. But you want to say, I've got something in hearts. Um, and if you've got diamond stopped, let's consider 3 no. East does have diamond stopped. Now, this one's a close one. Um, you can pass because 3 no is going to be a better. You've got all the suits stopped, and you've you've got all the suit stops, and your fit isn't a minor, and 3 no requires you to take fewer tricks than clubs, 5 clubs. So passing is fine here. Um, let's do that for first. So what should we lead on this? Well, we can against 3 no. They bid hearts. Diamonds is the unbid suit. And especially because East has shown the diamond strength, we'll be leading through the diamond strength. I like the Jack of Diamonds as a better lead than a heart. Heart lead isn't bad, but I don't have good heart spots, and they've bid the suit. Um, Heart lead or on this hand, they both work out about the same. So on a diamond lead, we count tricks. We've got one in no trump. We count our winners. Uh, one spade, 1 heart, 2 diamonds is 4. We've only got 2 clubs as high card, but if they split or if the queen drops, we've got 5 club tricks. That's our best shot. Um, so let's do that. And if there's nothing else to go on, if you have 9 cards in a suit, the let's say we played a club to the king and we played another club. The ace of clubs is the percentage play here. It's not that anti-percentage of play to hook. If you have a reason from the auction that you think that clubs are 3-1, like say for example, um, South had a hand where they had preempted in a red suit over one spade, and now you're still in 3 no. Now South's more likely to have a singleton club and it's right. But with no other information about their hands, like here, if you have 9 cards in the suit, the percentage play is to play the ace and then the king. Here you get a little lucky. Um, you play the ace of clubs and the queen drops, and now we can just cash our 9 tricks. The defense might be a little bit in trouble because they're going to be worried about the spade suit. They don't know that declare is a void. They might screw up a little bit and let you have a 10th trick just because they both think they might have to protect spades when they don't. But you're going to take at least 9 tricks in no trump. Um, let's just try a different auction. So if South made the not unreasonable choice to say, look, I got 5 card support for my partner's 3 club bid. I'm going to pull back to clubs. And you can Q bid the red suits again, but again, you're going to run out of power. So let's just bid 5. How does clubs play? Well, again, let's lead the unbid suit. If you ended up playing clubs, um, you can sort of see you're going to have all of these heart losers that you need to get rid of. The ace of spades will get rid of some loser, red suit loser in the west hand. But you're going to have to get rid of all of these hearts somehow. The best way is going to be to rough them. Um, so I would play this hand as a complete cross rough and don't touch trumps at all because as soon as the defense sees you're playing as a cross rough, as soon as they get in, they're going to lead trumps for you. That might be bad. So I'd start out by the exact timing might change, but Let's play the ace of hearts. We can ruff a heart. You want to get your pitch early, and you want to make sure they don't pitch enough diamond to cause you problems. So let's cash the king of diamonds. Now we ruff a spades, ruff a heart. Oops, they overruffed. Bad. And they return a trump. Bad. For the declaring side. But you've still got high trumps. You just have to ruff something, ruff a diamond or a spade, ruff another heart, and then you'll have to give up a heart at the end and make five. But five clubs is a very nice contract. Partner might have had a fifth club. If partner had a fifth club, five clubs would be a very easy contract. So we suggest looking towards three no trump as your first thought and as your second thought. But if it still looks unfortunate, sometimes you have to play five of a minor when it's right. If you did play three no trump, you hopefully made three no trump. You took five club tricks, either by just playing the ace king or you started with the ace and then the queen popped the second round. The things we wanted to point out are again a jump rebid in the second suit doesn't promise five in the suit. You won't have four bad ones. It's preferable to pretend you had a balanced hand and bid no trump rather than bid three clubs on like Jack fourth. But you have to do what you have to do. And if you're in a minor suit situation, um, sometimes you have to get by three no, and this might have been one of them. With Joe, after it goes one of a major, one no trump, three of a minor, six of that minor is frequently a possibility. So sometimes you have to get past three no, and when you don't have and if six of the minor is wrong for whatever reason, sometimes you have to play five of the minor once you've gotten past three no. But that's another example of a jump shift by opener in a second suit. It doesn't promise five cards in the second suit. Okay, and the last one was number nine, where I had mistyped them. Okay, this is a different kind of forcing bid. I think we've gone over this in some earlier lessons, but given that we're discussing forcing bids, I thought that this lesson was relevant. Again, North starts with a pass. East starts with when you have two five card suits, always open the higher five card suit. There are many rules in bridge. Most of them have exceptions. This is one that you should not make an exception to. Even if it's five small diamonds, an ace, king, queen, fifth of clubs, still open a diamond. So you open one diamond with this. West has a nice hand, but first step, let's take it slow. Pass. Two clubs, pass. Little bit of bidding theory. In when they first started playing and they started teaching, and in Charles Gorin's old books, a jump rebid of the suit by responder was forcing. It was this kind of hand. The problem with that is you couldn't describe a hand with 10 or 11 points and six cards in the suit. Um, they just never had a solution. They either had to overbid and pretend it was stronger, or underbid and pretend it was weaker and hope the partner bid. In about the 60s, they discovered, no, let's play three spades here as an invitational bid, about 10 or 11 points. This same hand, but without the king of hearts. Um, but that had the problem of, well, what do we do when we've got this hand? We've got enough to get to game, but we still don't know where we're supposed to go. The solution is that you use the fourth suit, the unbid suit. Um, and that's an alertable bid. It's artificial. What it says is we're going to game. I'm not saying anything about diamonds. All I'm saying is we're going to game. Let's describe our hands a little more and we can describe where we want to go. Um, it's called forcing forcing. You do need to alert so the opponent's, oops, jeez, sorry, two hearts. Sorry, guys. Two hearts, not two diamonds. Um, So you use that as the fourth suit, and that way you both people know they're going to game. That's great. Now you can start describing your hands, and you're still a little low levels. You can describe your hands fairly well. This hand, uh, two spades should show three card support here, so you can't do that, even though you prefer spades to hearts. Let's bid three clubs so that we say we have five clubs and almost certainly five diamonds as well. Pass. Wes can say I bid three spades. Now this is forcing. We've already two hearts said we're getting to game. And because partner denied three spades, I'm showing six spades when I rebid my suit. That's how you make a forcing bid with six cards in your original response. You have to go through a gadget. If it's all suit bidding, you're bidding fourth suit forcing. If partner would rebid a no trump instead of two clubs, you'd use new minor forcing to set up a force and then rebid your suit, and that creates a forcing hand. So now East knows that their partner has six spades. They have two. Great. They can bid four spades. If partner had a great big super strong hand, they can make a move over four spades. But now we've described the East hand very well. We've said we've got five diamonds, we've got five clubs, and we like spades a little bit. So that it's going to be almost exactly this hand. I think that'll end the auction. The King of Hearts is doesn't fit the hand very well, um, because partner has a singleton heart. It's not a valuable asset in spades, probably. Um, it might be in no trump, but again, it's the same hand as I think it was hand five, where you've got one stopper in the suit. What should we lead? Fourth best heart is what I suggested as the lead. It's the unbid suit because hearts has not been bid naturally. And it's a decent enough lead. South might have overcalled a heart over a diamond. I don't think the suit's good enough to overcall with only eight high card points. Um, if you overcalled a heart, it isn't too bad, but I think it's just about a queen light for an overcall on that suit. So assuming that if they did overcall a heart, the auction should go the same way. Um, so I suggested a fourth best heart. A trump lead might be okay. You sort of know what dummy's going to look like, and they might need to rough some hearts. So a trump lead, especially because you have 10, 9, 8, would be okay. But I think we go with first principles first. First principles are let's lead the fourth best of the unbid suit unless we have a good reason not to. So afterward, they lead the ace of hearts. Now let's have them stop spades. And we can draw trumps because we don't have to rough hearts anymore. Uh, we want to pitch a club here. I'll get to that in a sec. Now, we good news is we're going to make it, and we're going to make a lot of tricks. What is the best line here? This one isn't crystal clear, but you can float the jack of diamonds, and if it loses to the queen, you're going to get pitches on the rest of the diamonds, and you'll make five. That'd be fine. Um, I think you can combine both the chances in diamonds and clubs as a decent chance of making six here. So what the line I suggested in the write-up is try the jack of diamonds. Sometimes you get what's called a friendly cover. North probably shouldn't cover on most hands because it's unlikely they want to protect anything. But sometimes they cover. When they don't, we can try the ace and king of diamonds. And our hope is that either the queen dropped or that they were 3-3. When they're not, we don't have the entries to set up the diamonds. But we've got some good shots in clubs. The percentage line in club, the percentage play in this suit is to finesse twice through the same hand. So you run the 10, and then they'll return a heart, and then you run the queen. That's the percentage line with this holding. Um, there's the other possibility. Sorry, let me get back there. Is after you see the diamonds don't split, if you play a club to the ace and a club, you're in good, decent enough shape. If they play the jack or the king, you're home free. If North had the king jack, it wasn't going to work, but so be it. But the advantage of doing this over the textbook line is it's going to be tough for South to duck when they have the king of clubs. They're going to be worried that your queen of clubs might be singleton at this point. So one of the great either joys or problems with bridge is there's what's technically correct and what puts the most psychological pressure on the opponents. And a lot of times you have to balance those two out when you're considering how to play a suit. It's part of the art of the game. Um, I hope it's something you learn and enjoy, but it's a matter of style whether you go with the technically correct all the play all the time or you say, oh, let's take a slightly worse line, but it might put more pressure on the opponents. Matter of style. I like the psychological approach because it's more fun, but you should never feel bad about taking the technically correct approach. The main point of that I wanted to make on this hand is what you do with how you create a forcing bid as responder. You have to go through a gadget. If you have doubts about where you're going to play, you have to go through a gadget, either fourth suit forcing or new minor forcing. And then once you've set up your force, now you can start describing your hands. That's how you make forcing bids because as a responder, your second round jumps are invitational. Okay, folks, thank you again, as always, for showing up for this one. If anybody had any other hands that they'd like to discuss or go over the auction or play, I'm happy to go through there. Just put the number in chat. I'm going to reload the hands just so we know. Sorry. Come on, you. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. I think I got it. There. Sorry, guys. The screen's just in the wrong spot. There we are. All right, folks. Double check chat, but I'll put the lessons again into here. I guess that's it then. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I hope you guys are and got something out of the lesson. I enjoy doing them. The next lesson will be on Tuesday. We're going to go over non-forcing bids. We've done the invitational hands on Tuesday. We got the forcing hands today. Next Tuesday, we're going to go over bids that are non-forcing. The people sometimes make a mistake and think they're forcing. We'll go over that on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good evening. Stop the share.